What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Wnba Dfs here to bring you that WNBA slate breakdown for the one-game WNBA slate today. After having that nice 3-gamer yesterday, which was not a bad slate at all. Hopefully you were able to catch the content. I understand yesterday we had a little bit of a, I'm going to call it a technical difficulty because I got a lot of comments that you guys could not hear me, that the audio was low. I do apologize. Hopefully today the audio is better. I'm practically eating my mic. I have adjusted all the settings I can inside of my OBS to turn up the volume. And honestly, I don't see anything else that I can change in order to better the volume on here. I switched back to my OBS over the original restream that I was using because of the latent issues, and then also the mic quality over there is not as well. I cannot have some of my settings where I can suppress background noises and stuff like that I can whenever I use OBS. So back to the OBS. Hopefully this is better for you guys and you guys can hear me. If not, let me know. I will just keep on trying to adjust and make stuff better for you guys, because at the end of the day, I'm doing this for you guys to make sure you guys can hear me and get the content and everything that I'm trying to put out there for you guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead, let's get into this. Hopefully you guys did have a good night yesterday. If you guys new here, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button to the channel, drop a like in this video if this video or any of my other videos help you guys win some money, and let's go ahead and get into it. Real quick, before I even touch on this slate for today, since it is a one gamer, I'm gonna add a little bit of fluff into this video. I apologize ahead of time now. But I'm going to bring you guys a sports coverage that ESPN, First Take, all of them are not going to bring you in regards to the WNBA. One of those things that I'm pretty sure no one is going to talk about is the fact that the worst team in the WNBA, the Washington Mystics, finally won their first game last night, snapping their 12-game losing streak, which, if I'm not mistaken, is the worst for the franchise. For them, they are now 1-12. They won last night, going up against the Atlanta Dream, and honestly, it was not even close. It was a dog walk. They legit destroyed them, knocking down a ton of threes, led by none other than getting their technical point guard back in Brittany Sykes. Sykes played 14 minutes and was a force from the jump. You could see the intensity that she brought to the court. 18 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and just got everyone clicking and going, which led to one of our core plays that we had yesterday, Ariel Atkins having a monster of a game. 18 points, 2 steals, a block, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. Looked beautiful out there in 28 minutes. Those two guards right there, beautiful. If Sykes was not on a minute limit, I would have had her as a primary play yesterday. And even if you went ahead and you sprinkled a little bit of Sykes, you still did pretty good. But besides the greatness that we saw from the Washington Mystics, the shortcoming of the Atlanta Dream, I don't know what it is about this team, but right now they're averaging less points at home than they are on the road, which is really concerning because most teams play 10 times better at home than they do. Well, I'm not going to say 10 times, but more. They play better in front of their home crowds versus what they do on the road. We actually got to see Ryan shake a little loose, get a couple of shots to actually fall yesterday. 407, which I want to say is her best shooting outing that she's had probably in the last 5 to 6 games so far this season. We really had been seeing her doing more playmaking and rebounding and things like that. But honestly, only 2 of your starters got to double-digit scoring. The other one being Tina Charles, who I just do not understand it. Went into the half with 12 points and I want to say 6 or 7 rebounds. Came out of the half, only got 2 more rebounds, and then like a turnover again. Does not make any sense. Her usage drop from the first half of games to the second is drastic. It is ridiculous how much it drops, and it does not make any sense to me in regards to it, and it's very concerning. But honestly, this Atlanta Dream as a whole, they are very concerning. They normally cannot hold leads, which is something that just doesn't make any sense. I've been wondering, maybe is it time for a coaching change for quite some time for the Dream. I honestly kind of do think it is, especially with the talent that you actually have on this roster. There's no reason why you should drop at home this kind of game to what is considered the worst team in the league. And sure, Sykes, she can be a difference maker, but not this drastic, not that much. Not when you have Cheyenne Parker, Tina Charles, Alicia Gray, Ryan Howard, and Haley Jones. She's okay. She's all right, but she could definitely be better. But the rest of the stars that you actually have in the team, and then to come off the bench, you have AP coming off the bench. There's no reason why you're dropping games like this at all whatsoever. But that's neither here nor there. That's pretty much the recap of that game. And then we go into the fact that the Las Vegas Aces, your back-to-back champions, have officially lost 3 games in a row. The Aces have actually lost 3 games in a row. Now, I'm not no crazy wizard or anything, but I think you would have to go back to when they used to be in San Antonio before they moved to become the Aces for the last time that this franchise or this team lost 3 games in a row. But since they've been the Aces on this run, I really cannot recall the last time that they actually lost 3 games in a row. And which one of those games was to a middle of the pack team, well, technically a bottom of the pack team in the Sparks that they lost to. But they lost to the Sparks, they've lost to the Storm, and now they've lost to the Lynx. I'm not going to say it's too concerning, but it is a little concerning that they need Chelsea Gray back. That floor general, that vet presence out there on the court. And a lot of people wanted to question, what does Chelsea Gray bring to Team USA? She hasn't played the season, so on and so forth. But she is a floor general. She is a difference maker. She can settle the team, get them set up, calm them down when they're going on these little jittery stall outs and things like that. She can go get a bucket when it's needed. Those are things that you actually want on your team. And I'm not going to say that Jackie Young isn't playing too well. I give it to her. She's not 100%. She's still sick. I don't know what she's sick with, but she's still sick. Hopefully it's not the same thing like what Lexi Brown had last year, where we saw not too much of Lexi. She missed a chunk of games due to a illness or some alignment that she had going on. Kelsey Plum is legit, kind of like what I always say about Enrique. She's a 2. She's a primary scorer. She can try to facilitate, depending on the matchup. She can facilitate decently, but she's not what you want out there run the point. She is not. A little guard out there trying to run the point is not what I want out here. It does not bode too well in the WNBA, as we have seen so far. A'ja Wilson, she can only do so much out there. 28 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Not bad. I'll say you could have got me the double-double. But outside of that, there's not too much. Stokes needs to figure out an offensive bag. Other than that, she's really out there for the defense. Good job. You got 9 rebounds. I commend you. Awesome. Good. 19 minutes. I just put A'ja at the 5 and just let Tiffany Hayes or let Megan start something. Megan, 14 minutes, 11 points, was instant offense off the bench for them. And I just still don't understand why they will not go ahead and play 5 out. Put Megan on the damn court and let her take the starting role over Stokes. That's what it really should be. Now, over here for the Minnesota Lynx on their side, they held Fee in check. And you would think holding Fee in check would have actually let them win this game. It did not, because Fee, mediocre game, 14 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 blocks, got into foul trouble early, had to sit for a majority of the first half, didn't come back in until like about 4 or 5 minutes left in the second quarter. But when you have Alana Smith, who is knocking down threes, and I was pretty high on Alana the day before, didn't end up on too much of her because I ended up more on Courtney Williams as the day went on. But when the whole starting 5 is scoring double digits and the Aces couldn't even do that, my goodness. That game was just, it got out of hand. And they were knocking down threes. When you got Carlson out there, 5 of 7 from 3, 2 steals, 5 rebounds. Just the whole starting 5 was clicking. It was beautiful. It was good to see. And it's good to see Courtney Williams in 24 minutes can put up a monster of a fantasy point productive night. And it was beautiful to watch. See, like I said, Aces, they've lost 3 in a row. How will they shake? How will they bounce back? We're definitely going to see that in the next slate that they're on. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Chelsea Gray more practicing and her being prepared to come back. But hopefully Jackie Young will actually be able to get her full run next time. 22 minutes. I didn't expect that from her, but when I got the word that she was not 100%, definitely pivoted off my Jackie Young shares to more Tiffany Hayes, as I figured she would get about her 23, 24 minutes run. She just didn't do too much of that. And then last but not least, the Sparks taking on Seattle. This was much of a game for the first half, but I will say, besides the Storm winning, which is good, awesome, pat yourself on the back, good job, Storm, you won. The biggest thing for me was watching little old Lily go out here and had a great performance. 18 points, a block, a steal, 7 rebounds, 1 assist in the most minutes that she's played so far this season. 24 minutes. Beautiful. She was out there. She was doing her thing. She had a very good game. And I loved what I actually saw. Took the minutes from Brink. We didn't get to see too much Brink out there because Lee, she was out there. She was balling. She was cooking. I would love to see her get some more minutes, things of that nature. But I know that's more than likely not going to happen. Just simply because, of course, when you got Brinks in start lineup, unless Brinks gets herself into foul trouble, then maybe we'll see more Lee. But it was definitely a positive sign knowing that if they're going up against a big lineup, a big team, so someone like the Connecticut Sun, maybe we'll see more Lee. Someone like the Dallas Wings, maybe we could see more Lee in those games and things like that. So definitely something to note and scratching that they will go to her when they're facing a bigger team, nonetheless. But all right, guys. So quick recap that I wanted to do. I really. Because I know SportsCenter, no one's going to actually cover anything in regards to that right there at all whatsoever, covering the WNBA. If you guys want more of that, let me know. I know this is not what you guys come for. You come for the DFS stuff. but I definitely wouldn't mind actually just giving recaps and takes on the actual slate. So going over Connecticut Suns, no news to really worry about. Mariah Jefferson, she's in, she's out, and that's really going to matter. We're going to really just focus on the starters for this side. And then for the Chicago Sky, Diamond Shields game time decision, Milik and Elizabeth Williams are both still out for them. Heading over to DraftKings, the site that I play the most on site. If you guys don't have an account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys can get that deposit match bonus and join me over here on the King. If you guys saw last night, probably about 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, I posted my core and my player pool already for this. I already broke this down, dug it in, was at work last night. Yes, amped up on some coffee right now to go ahead and give you guys this breakdown because I got some stuff to do later on today. And it's a one-game slate. We're not going to diddle-daddle and play around and, take all day. Just go ahead and get this out to you guys. So starting on the Sun side, honestly, I'm finding it very hard not to just go ahead and just have AT as a captain. Like, that just seems to be the obvious thing. And I will say the last showdown slate, I dug pretty deep into a couple of stats. I reviewed every single showdown slate that we've had this year, and some of the couple of the things that I found going over it. And maybe this is obvious to everybody, but typically the person in the captain MVP spot belonged onto the winning team. That came out to be about 65 to 70% of the games that were played. There was only a handful of times where the MVP or captain slot was not on the team that won the game. Of course, we will have the Connecticut Sun winning this game. They are definitely the better team, better defense, all around production coming from their players, and their main stars over here, they play very, very well. Outside of that, the next interesting thing that I found was the captain spot over 80% of the time came from being a forward or the center position has been the captain. Now, it's not to say that guards can't. When you have guards like Enrique on a slate, she definitely can go ahead and pop off and find her way, slid into the captain spot right there. Or Phoebich, which crazy value. She actually ended up finding her way into being a captain spot. Natasha Cloud, Jewel Lloyd, Clea Copper. All these players definitely are outliers in regards to players that can actually make it. But typically, going through, just looking at everything, most of the players that actually ended up being in the captain spot were either the forward position or the center position that actually ended up being captain. So with a little bit of that knowledge right there, I went ahead just looking at it, and I was like, okay, cool. Well, Alyssa Thomas or Angel Reese were going to be the main two manufacturers I would look to for the center or forward position, with a sprinkle of Bree Jones that I could take. And then from the guard position, it would have been Dewana Bonner, Maria Marbury, and just a sprinkle GPP of Kennedy Carter would be the ones that I would consider as captain considerations over there. So, yep. Quick breakdown in regards to that right there for you guys. So you can take with that information. I definitely did do the research back in on my side to go ahead and figure that out. And then another little tidbit that I did find, most of the time and majority of the winning combination was a 4-2 lineup. So 4 players from one team, 2 from the other team. That is sitting at right around 55-ish% that I have here. That ended up being the winning combination. And then the second most was 3-3. So having a balance of 3 from one team, 3 from the other. But that was very little in regards to the actual drastic difference in between having a 4-2 lineup. And this is just for the WNBA, just from what I've looked through and just looking at all the showdown slates that we have so far. That is what I found for it to be. So definitely some things to consider and look at right there. If you guys care about that little bit of, I guess, analytics or deep dive into that right there, definitely something that you guys can use in regards to building your lines. But Alyssa Thomas, I find it very hard not to go to her as a captain spot. I do think that there is some merit in regards to just fading her, putting her into the util, because that's how you can get different on the slate. But today, I really just feel like we're more likely going to be chopping up at the top at this 5K to first when it comes down to it, because I don't see how you go away from AT, who in this matchup going up against them, she literally went out there and she was putting up fantasy point per minute in 23 minutes. She got tossed in this game. So I definitely would imagine that this is going to be a get back game for her coming out here just balls to wall. From the util, everyone from AT down to Harris, of course, all the starters are going to be in play. Carrington's been playing very well. Brown and Jones, I would imagine they're going to have to play her a pretty decent role in minutes out here, considering that Chicago, they do play pretty big. Typically, you will see 2 bigs on the court, Angel Reese, Cardosa, Isabel Harrison. That's their rotation right there at the big spot, and they normally do have 2 of them on the court at all times. So would be very surprised if they go away from that and go small or something of the sort. But Bree Jones definitely will be in play. We know that she can actually go out there and play 30-ish minutes if she actually needs to. Then, of course, going up against them earlier in 23 minutes, she dropped 26 fantasy points in that game. So definitely something to consider when it comes down to it. Ty Harris, Don't mind it. Carrington, don't mind it. Bonner, of course, kind of a no-brainer if you can go ahead and play her player. Now, this is where I think you want to get different. I feel like a lot of people are going to go to Tiffany Mitchell right here. 4,400, seeing that she played 22 minutes in the last game, 14, 19, 15, 11. That's what I really feel like everyone's going to gravitate towards. 11 fantasy points, 14. Cool. Give me double digits. The one that will go lower on, 10,000%, I believe it will be Banham. I understand 14 minutes in a blowout. The game blew out. That's why she got the 14 minutes. But before then, 10, 10, 13, 20, 11, 24, she can see the minutes. Going up against Chicago, she played 11 minutes, gave us 8.5 fantasy points in that time. I'm going to go with the lower owned player that I truly do believe Banham will be lower owned than Tiffany Hayes. That's why I have her as a sneakier play over T. Mitch. Burton, no. Jefferson, no. New Deerfall, no. Only other one I would see that you could probably go to would be Odota. Now, granted, she did get 20 minutes, and that was only because the game blew out. That is why she got that run. Other than that, they're really going to play her. Maybe her 13-ish minutes is what you will see. But at 5K, I'll take my chances on one of the two guards down here. Going over to the Chicago side, Reese, she's figured it out. She's playing very well. 40-plus fantasy points in back-to-back games, 30, 26. And then in this game going up against them early when they played 33 minutes, only gave us 23.25 fantasy points, but she was playing very good. Playing good. Even after AT got tossed, she was still out there. She was doing pretty decent. And I'm not going to say she's going to go out there and get all the steals, like what she's gotten over these last two games, 5 steals in back-to-back games. That's a bit much. I don't think that she will definitely go out there and do that. Connecticut doesn't necessarily turn the ball over a ton, so I will see that number come down from her. But you could definitely go to Reese in the captain spot just to get difference, or you can just go with Reese period as one of your main plays and stables to go on to. Marbury, if she can, Marbury, MM. We're going to go back to the MM. I keep always butchering her name anyway. Connecticut, she put up a fantasy point per minute when she played against them. 37 minutes and 37 fantasy points. So if the shot can fall, which is the biggest thing that we've been needing from her lately, if the shot can fall, she will have a good game. If it falls. I will say I am in the realm of going down to my girl Carter, who only played 15 minutes in the last game, just didn't have it going, shot horribly. But I know she can ball so hard. She can. In 15 minutes, she gave 19.25 fantasy points against Connecticut. I have the faith in Carter today. I really do. It's one of those gut feels that I have. I'd rather play for Carter, who I think will go under owned between Evans and MM. I do just feel like this is a pretty good spot for her. Then outside of that, if I'm going between one of the two bigs, I really do like Cardoso over Reese as pairing them up as my runbacks to get from this side of the court. We know that Cardoso, she's going to go out here. She's going to play the minutes. It's literally her, Izzy, and Reese that are just playing the rotation of the bigs right now. And 21 minutes, pretty much splitting it with Isabel Harrison. I don't mind that at all for the production that she'll actually give us, and feel like this will be a game that they need her. You can definitely come down there to Izzy. You know she's going to play close to about 20-ish minutes. She has a pretty good offensive bag. Definitely is fully in play right there. Diamonds and Shields, not worried about it. Lindsay Allen, none of these players out here I'm worried about. Nothing at all. But pretty much that is the breakdown. My full player pool is already posted for today. I'm about to go ahead and dig in, get my MLB bets and my WNBA stuff posted as well for that, for betting wise, and just going to chill for the rest of the day. It's a one game slate. We're not going to overthink it. We're not going to go too crazy, heavy, whatnot. We got a decent slate coming up tomorrow, and definitely we'll be back to break that down. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I know I made a long video out of nothing that we had today, but hopefully you guys still enjoyed the takes and everything that I had. Cash out on today. Good luck, everybody. See you guys tomorrow. Please let me know how the audio is. I really did try to work on it. Peace.